I'm not excited, and yet I am excited for very few reasons, right? I mean, I can't say many reasons. I have to say few reasons. There's only one reason, basically, right? Bitcoin is coming down, and that's a good thing. But it takes perspective to understand what it means for everybody, because obviously, currently we've bled out. We've gone all the way to $109,000, and then we've come down. And as much as everyone's hoping for the market to move back up again, it's not. The truth is, it's not moving up. That's what the charts are showing us right now. If you look at the candles, the daily candle, the hourly, 4 hourly, whatever, everything is freaking bleeding out. And that's a hardcore reality, right? There is no ifs and buts about that. We are bleeding out. However, perspective matters, right? I see Matthew here. Also, my brother, nice to see you. So perspective really matters. And perspective is that if we treat this as a correction, then things change for us. Then we can be really excited. And there's a reason, good reason. That's why I said few reasons. It wasn't one reason, but a few reasons. So the other reason is that if you look at the weekly chart, right? If you look at the weekly chart, and if you look at the stochastic RSI and RSI, yes, the RSI has been showing a little bit of bearishness for some time now, but the stochastic RSI has flipped bullish. Well, hasn't flipped yet, but it's about to flip bullish. Now, mathematically, mathematically, what this indicator is showing us, what the market is doing right now, is actually kind of like a mini correction to get us to that significant level that we need to be at. Now, 86K was our level. Unfortunately, we broke through that. Yesterday, we almost broke through it, but we broke through that, and that puts us in a bit of a very dangerous situation right now, because now we do have one last stop until the bear market, and that last stop is 78K. We cannot lose 78K, right? So 86K was the scenario where we need to be very cautious, right? When we get there, we're very cautious. And we did say that came back into play, and it has come back into play. And as you can see, the market has reacted accordingly to that. Even yesterday, it tried to hold support, but it couldn't because of all the liquidation and everything. And I talked about a cascading effect. And what happens is too many people are bullish and whatnot, or this and that. They go over leverage and whatnot. And then when the liquidation starts, not enough people have enough time in the world to go and pull out, right? So what happens is everybody bleeds out. So of course, if you're fully prepared for all the prices that we gave, when we said, look, when I said 86K is back in play, if you are prepared for that, you're fine. Like me, I'm fine, right? Because it doesn't bother me. So we hit that number. We're down now. We are about to go to $78,000, right? Hopefully it doesn't, right? Hopefully we recover from here and just create another support here and move back up. But today is Wednesday. And usually on a Wednesday is a recovery day. So if we have a bleeding Monday, we usually get a recovery around Wednesday. So if we've bled out today, then guess what? This week game's over, right? We're basically going down or doing whatever we need to do for this entire week, because we've just hit that middle of the week mark. We are going down, right? So when we do, we're gonna have to wait until Sunday now, see if we can hold the $78,000, because if we don't, then we're going to 76, 75K, and that's not a good thing, because that gives us a bigger probability to go and test somewhere around 68K. Do you know what I mean? 78K to drop to 68K. Guys, we're going into bear market territory. We don't really want to be there, right? So things get very, very nasty if we lose certain levels. So of course we have backup levels. Now, those of you who are on Discord, you may have seen me publish the charts. It's the same chart. It's the one single chart that I've been posting for good knows how many years now. You will see the lines are drawn there, and I've clearly mentioned, guys, these are the support zones. Of course, on the way down they become support. On the way up, all right, they become resistance, right? So it is what it is, right? End of the day. So all I'm going to say is, guys, be patient. If you have prepared for it, like as you should be, because according to what I've said and everything that I've said so far, you should be prepared for it. So if you are prepared for it, you know what to expect, you know what the probabilities are. So right now, one of the probabilities that I'm seeing that has a higher probability. Now, of course, that doesn't mean anything, right? If you have to take it with a pinch of salt, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not advising you here anything financially. I'm just telling you what the charts are saying. So far, the charts are showing a bullish indication, but it hasn't confirmed yet. That confirmation could come next week, could come the following week. We don't know. But before that, we will actually wipe out all the paper hands. All the weak hands have to go. All the over leveraged positions have to go. And that's what's happening right now. So they have gone, right? Unfortunately for us, right? Because well, fortunately, because the price is coming down. So this is what's happening now. Somebody has mentioned that altcoins didn't bleed as much. True, but you also have to see how much further altcoins can go, because altcoins have bled out maximum already. I mean, altcoins are, some of them are below the bull market threshold, which means they're already in the bear market territory, and they may even have the potential to pull the market down, drag the market down, right? So things are looking very bad for altcoins. Hence why even yesterday or the day before, I can't remember, I posted on Discord and I said, guys, there is a coin that I do want to buy. I'm looking at buying, but I have a certain level that I'm planning to buy, right? So, why? Because look, we are going to get discounts. There's no ifs and buts about it. They're coming. You see a certain pattern, you understand there's likelihood of this happening, right? So of course we've hit the 86k, we've gone below 86k, so I think I've got that correct as well again. 78k is now the new support zone. We have a very micro support there. If we can hold that, great. If we can't, then unfortunately we have a major support at 68k. Well, we don't want to go to 68k because that takes us towards the bear market territory. So let's see what happens if it does happen, if anything bad does happen. Now, altcoins, as I said, they have bled out much already, so whatever happens. Salam's Faisal, nice to see you. And I see Mr. P plays says, guess what, bro? I have no idea what you want me to guess, because I think I've already guessed many of the numbers, and I'm sure Faisal here, he's on Discord as well. I'm not sure. I think my theory is on Discord as well. So the truth is always out there. My name is Sham. And I always say the truth is always out there, because I've already given the numbers. I've already said what the likelihood of something could happen, what the probabilities are, and if a particular number is in play or not. Right? There are times when we invalidate those numbers, and there are times when those numbers are valid. I say, Bubble here, nice to see you, my brother. So that's what it is, right? But I'm not going to be a degen right now. I'm not going to go and ape in to buy stuff and this and that. Yes, there are a few coins I want to buy, but my buying strategy right now is for a long term. I'm not doing anything for right now, because if the market starts bleeding, I'm not going to buy and start, I'm going to buy the dip and pump. And I've been very specific about that. I said, guys, I'm not really buying the dip. I'm going to be DCAing, right? So I'm going to be dollar cost averaging into the market. So there's a very distinct clarification here. What I've said, I said I'm going to be dollar cost averaging down, right? I didn't say I'm going to buy the dip. So there is no buy the dip, right? Because when that starts to happen, guys, when a market starts to formulate something and you start noticing things, there's only one dip, and that's the bottom. You buy the dip at that time, so you save maximum amount of money that you have. Say for example, you have $1,000, maybe $10,000, maybe if you're fortunate enough, $100,000. Well, you don't do it in one go. Don't ape in. Do it in 10 goes. Do it in 20 goes. There's no harm in that, right? That's how we dollar cost average down, right? We buy slowly and we go down, and then we save the majority of the money to buy the dip. There's only one dip, so we buy that. So that's what it is. But so far, as I said, look, guys, I am looking at this weekly. I am looking at this 5 days candles and the stochastic RSI and RSI. And I always focus on those because they give me a more immediate information. And so far, I think the market's about to do something insane or completely fail, right? So there's no guarantee what the market's going to do. There's no guarantee that we are going to have a massive pump next week or the week after. But so far, all the charts, every indicator is telling us, boys, hold on tight, right? Because there could be a potential, a higher probability of a big pump coming. Right? And this could be that 20-30% correction that we wanted. Remember, we wanted a 20-30% correction. Well, this could be it. So anyone who's been in the game already, a couple of years or last bull run or whatnot, you guys should know this, right? We've seen it over and over again, right? This is exactly what the market does. I mean, back in the days, we used to have 50%. We used to even have a slogan. We used to say 50% corrections are normal, right? Because that's what we used to get. But then as we moved over time, things changed. We get 20%, 30%, and we started, the percentage drop started to become lower and lower and less. So for us, we have to look at this and we have to treat this like a 30% correction. If that's a 30% correction, by all means, bring it on, right? And, we can say bring it on and not have any panic at all because of what the other indicators are telling us right now. So the stochastic RSI, the current momentum, that we have in the market, what we're seeing, right, is indicating bullish, right? Now, of course, there has been other people out there talking about market makers doing whatnot and this and that, and I've kind of mentioned market makers as well, and I believe they are involved in what's happening right now because, guys, if they want to push the market, well, they don't really want to push the market from a higher price. They want to do it from a lower price. So you've got to be logical about it as well. So that's what it is, and we have given absolute control to the whales and all the other stuff. So if you guys have any questions, please do let me know. Of course, if I can answer it, I'll answer it. If I have the knowledge, I'll answer it. If I don't, then I'll just say I don't know. You know what I mean? But don't push alts and meme coins and whatnot. I don't really care about meme coins. I don't really want to know about altcoins right now because it's not important. They are not important, right? I've mentioned I can't remember if it was Discord or on YouTube. I can't remember, but either way, the truth is always out there. That by the end, so when I feel that the bull market is over, when I feel that we're going into a bear market, I should be majority, if I would say 90% ish, right, of my entire portfolio should be back in a stable coin, right? Because I'm not interested in sticking around hodling and this and that. I don't believe in that, right? Believe me, I've done hodling. I've been in the game too long, right? I have done hodling and I've noticed it's stupid. Me hodling right now is stupid. I might as well buy a discount or go and buy it cheaper later on. So I'm happy to dump whatever I've got. So it is what it is. So Faisal says, bro, it's cause DGR still hasn't done bleeding. Think there's still more room. It is Dow Jones, but Faisal, Dow Jones is just one index, right? We've got FTSE, we've got the Nasdaq, right? And if you look at Dow Jones, this is just the industrial index. I forgot what it's called, something industrial index, right? It's just one of them. Yes, there's a lot of FUD going on, and there's a lot of political situations going on as well. Because remember, when it comes to stocks and shares, right, they get impacted by politics quite a bit, right? So there are reasons why people are deciding to dump maybe a particular company, because you got these high-level companies, these top-tier companies, right? Like trillion-dollar market cap companies. When people hate on them, then things are going to happen. So it could be one dragging the rest, and people are just panicking and there's a lot of fear in the market. It is what it is. So there could be political reasons behind that, but I tend to not look at Dow Jones. I tend to not look at Nasdaq. Yes, they are correlated, so I'll put my hands up and say yes, they are correlated, right? And BTC does suffer a little bit, but they're suffering a lot more now compared to in the past, right? When I was around, when I started, compared to that, because more and more institutions got in, and that mindset, that's what they're playing. They're playing that mindset. So it is what it is. So I'm not too concerned about that. But yes, overall, everyone's playing the same way. And when that happens, we can connect the dots and we can say, do you know what? It's probably happening because the entire market's reacting the same way. That's all it is. But I mean, back in the days when us degens used to be in crypto, we didn't care about Nasdaq, we didn't care about DGI, we didn't care about none of that business. It didn't bother us, right? They did whatever they did, we did whatever we did. You know what I mean? It was a whole different thing. But we've invited them to the party. Well, you gotta now be a good host and keep them there. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. SM says, now that the 3 trillion market cap is lost, does that cause you any concern? Funnily, it does cause me concern. So SM, that's a good point you've made. Actually, I was going to talk about that as well. $3 trillion market cap is a very important, significant number for us, and it does cause me a little bit of concern, a lot of concern actually. However, again, as I mentioned, when I look at the stochastic RSI and RSI, especially on the weekly, it gives me hope. Right, so I'm just being hopeful here. I'm saying, do you know what? It gives me hope because that indicator is reset so much. It's been resetting, right, for the past couple of weeks. It's getting to that point, and that means any second now it should shoot up. However, if it doesn't, then unfortunately we're going into a bear market. That's a confirmation. There's no ifs and buts, right? But as I said, it still gives me hope because it's still pointing up. I haven't seen it point down. If it pointed down, I'll be in panic mode. I'll be like, guys, I don't care what this indicator says. Get the freaking hell out. But so far, it's not giving me any of that. And that's the reason why I'm being hopeful. That's the reason why I think, do you know what? We might still have just enough momentum to push up again. We might have just enough momentum to push back above the $3 trillion, right? We don't see a problem with that. We might actually see that because the people who are losing are the people who don't understand charts, number one, who don't understand how the technicals work, who don't use stop losses, right? Who get liquidated and wiped out, right? And they don't get that they're in a casino. Everyone can see your hand, right? And you're just giving money away. That's what's happening, you know? So there are times when you have to be really, really smart about how you invest. And obviously stop losses are very important at this particular time, especially when we were and we are still at the beginning of the end, because as I said many times before, guys, that now that we're at the final stage, now that we've peaked out at a significant level, of course we still have room to move forward. I've mentioned this many times before as well, that altcoins, we still have like $2 trillion sitting on altcoins because they haven't done anything. So this bull run that we had was mainly just a whole bunch of meme coins pumping the life out of them and BTC. What about the rest? The rest didn't do much. Do you know what I mean? They just went and they just staggered and they just kind of went stagnant and just died. It's like, what the hell's going on? Like Ethereum, freaking disappointed, right? Solana's made a good attempt, so I'm not going to diss that because it did make a good attempt. It tested its previous all-time high. It couldn't break through, right? But there's a lot of shit going on in the market. Excuse my language, but that's what's going on. So it is what it is. But yeah, a $3 trillion loss is concerning, very concerning. But with that indicator pointing up, especially on the higher time frame, look at the 5 days, look at the 1 week, and I'll show you as well what I mean. Give me a second. Let me just pull this forward. So you see that part there. That's what's giving me the hope, right? They're going down to test the line, but that is what's giving me the hope. So none of the other, to be honest, right? That's how I look at it anyway. So everything else I'm kind of ignoring because that's the thing that says to me that something good could happen. You know what I mean? That's why I'm still hopeful, and I think we're still at a good significant level, because when you do look at the total market cap, yes, we're at 2.72 according to TradingView right now, right? But we do have a support. Now, this is quite funny, right? So we have a support around the $2.62 trillion. Now, when I'm looking at that, also, one other thing you got to understand, TradingView, God knows how many hundreds, if not thousands of coins they are actually monitoring for the total market cap, because there are other companies out there like CoinMarketCap and XYZ who are calculating more coins, because we've got millions and millions of coins. So we don't really have the actual data. It's only what's being tracked. So we got to take that with a freaking fistful of salt, or a bucket full of salt, because it is what it is. But it's a good indicator, good enough. It's telling us, look, we need to see 2.62 being held. And if we can hold that, we should be okay. We lost the 2.93. So that's when I started getting concerned. So even though I said $3 trillion is a psychological level, 2.93 was actually our support zone. We fell through that, unfortunately. So 2.62 is the only other number. Anything below 2.62, I'm going to freaking panic. I'm going to literally, I have to change my pants. You got to start shitting yourself, because that's, yeah, you're going into some serious level, right? So that's what it's going to be. So that's what I'm saying anyway. Faisal says, I always think, though, when DGI bleeds or pumps, crypto follows. It's either one or the other. They're just kind of correlated. But that's a recent thing. Recent, as what I mean by that, is happening for the last 4 or 5 years, Faisal. So this has been happening for the last 4 or 5 years. So since the last cycle. Prior to that, this wasn't the case, right? So 2017, 2015, 2013, 2012, those times, it was not correlated at all, right? We started the correlation around the 2018, 2019, 2020, right? And that's when we kind of balanced out and leveled out, and then we started following the same trend, right? So that's when we know that we've had a lot of institutions, a lot of big players coming into the game. That's what it is. They think very differently. They don't just hit the button on one asset and leave it on the other. They do it on all of them. So it's just the way market makers and everybody works, and that's the job. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So yes, if you look at the charts, yes, there is a correlation. That's what I'm saying. It's a very recent thing. So if you look at the charts but go back, you'll see there is a disconnect. The connection happened 4 or 5 years ago, and that's from then onwards. It's been kind of balancing out together. So it is what it is. Mark says PyCoin on the way. PyCoin's been around for a very long time. We've heard people talk about I've heard people talk about PyCoin going to $300 or whatever. Let's get to $1 first, and then we talk about it. SM says Nvidia earnings dropping later after market close. If it does well, should boost AI coins, probably. But then also you got to look at the Nvidia stuff as well. So Nvidia is obviously a US company who makes these chips, whatever chips for AI and whatnot. And then they were kind of limiting what chips they give to China. So that's political as well. And then obviously China comes up with DeepSeek, which uses old chips and whatnot, and then build something better. So hold on, what are we freaking? That's what like people are thinking. What are we investing in? We've been pumping your company because you make super chips, OpenAI, X, Y. Hence why they pump. By the way, it was all to do with OpenAI. So OpenAI and this and that. Well, now hold on. Why are we paying you? Because we can get something for cheaper, and that's what's causing a bit of an issue. You see what I mean? So it's a lot political. It's very political. All right, it's very political. It says 82. I'm not sure where you're seeing 82, but on my chart it's still showing 84. Or you think it's gonna go to 82? Probably, bro. Probably. I mean, I don't see a reason why not. I just have another level of support that I previously drew based on the charts and the crazy maths that I do, and that does give me 78,400. So it is what it is, end of the day. But there's nothing's 100%. I don't want to say, look, oh, it has to go to 78k. No, you can go to 82k and we can bounce up again, right? Because we still got hope, right? So we can bounce anytime now. So it's all a matter of strategy, risk management, as I always say, and discipline. If you don't have any of those things, then unfortunately, let's see what happens. Mark says, hopefully. Of course, hopefully Pi goes to $300. If it does, great. I do have some Pi from back in the days, but I don't even know what wallet it's on. I don't even know if I can access the wallet. It's just been kind of going on, but it's been there for a long time. It does have a very large community, but I think the community that has most of the people are there just for the free Pi coins, right? To be honest, if people actually bought tons of Pi coin, then they could potentially pump it high. So it is what it is. Let's see what happens. Jaffa Clip says, man, this drop sucks now that I'm out of dry powder. Yes, my brother, this is one of the reasons why we need to save as much as possible. And I always say this all the time, right? Oh, Bubble says Pi Network is $2. Okay, I didn't know. So you see what I mean? I don't follow this stuff. $2? That's brilliant, because I remember when I last saw it, it was like 0.00 whatever pennies. So Pi's doing very good then in that case, if it's at $2. So I'm sure I've made a decent amount of profit from the Pi I hold. I don't even know how much I hold, but it's very old, because I bought Pi back in 2017, right? Around 2017 I bought some, and I've got it in some wallet. I don't know. So wow, SM says nearly hit $3 today. Wow, so this is a result. I had no idea. So it is what it is, end of the day. So Pi's been pumping, and that's what I'm saying. If people buy these coins rather than relying on free coins and whatnot, then they have potential. Do you know what I mean? They have potential. But I'm not a big fan or anything like this. I've had some, and it is what it is. And there's so many other coins similar to it as well, and I think I have a few. And I'm sure I shared a whole bunch of them on Discord and whatnot and this and that. But there comes a time when it's like, it's just too much effort. You know what I mean? In fact, putting on the phone is great. You have Pi Network on your phone, but it drains the battery. So I just switched. I got Pi on my phone, but I just don't bother. I don't even know how to log into it, but it is what it is, end of the day. So not too bothered. But what Jaffa says, yeah, you need dry powder. That's what's important, and hence why I've been very cautious for God knows how many months now. I've talked about it. It's on my live streams and all the other streams that I did. I've talked about it. Many of them I've talked about it. So guys, I'm playing very cautiously. All right, I'm not investing all my money. I'm playing this game very differently. I'd rather sit back, this one if I have to. I'd rather sit back, right, play with what I've got, and not put any fresh money, because that's the worst thing you could do, right? It's not a financial advice. Of course, it's your money. Go and burn it. Do whatever you want to do. But end of the day, guys, you buy something for $100. It bleeds out to $90. It bleeds out to $80, and you're buying the dips. You're buying the dip. Well, how much more money are you going to put inside? I mean, there has to be a point where you have to stop and say, hold on. Am I just putting money into a freaking black hole? Because if I am, then I've got to stop. Do you know what I mean? Hence why you use a stop loss, play the strategy. If you think it's going to bleed out, bleed out. If you're going to make profit, don't look for that 10x, 20x. It comes. You got to be really lucky, and a lot of people can be. Some people are very fortunate where they've only put a couple of $100 in, $1,000 in. They made $100,000, $1,000,000. Not a problem. But right, you got to be one of those lucky ones, because other people also bought these coins and they haven't made it. Do you see what I mean? So end of the day, when luck hits you, yeah, you're going to make those kind of money, but you can't be stupid and go and invest some serious amount and keep on buying the dips, because that doesn't help. You know, you got to protect your funds, because if you have dry powder, if you have your funds, right, if you say, for example, you lost 5%, you have 95% left, well, you can still buy the same one, but you buy it cheaper and you get more coins. right? So you got to think differently, you know, put a different cap on. I got my Punisher cap on. It is what it is, end of the day. So yeah, enough of Pi Network, you know, and all sorts. BTC's at 83,898 right now. It's going towards that 78k. Whether it goes to 82k, as I said, it's not something I can say. And there's nothing's 100%, guys. End of the day, we don't have a crystal ball. Nobody has a crystal ball. We can only use maths to tell us where it goes. In fact, some of my maths does include Fibonacci, right? And some of them are not Fibonacci. They're slightly different type of a maths that I do. So it is what it is, end of the day. Hence why I give those numbers. But I'm proud of my lines. I'm proud of my numbers, right? Hence why I don't change my lines. I don't change my numbers. And I've published them many, many times. The same chart, the same lines. If people go and find any of my lines changed, right? And if I do, then I tell them, guys, this line is not valid anymore. But you will find for many years now, even before we went to 100k, even before we went to 70k, right? I was still publishing the same chart with the same lines, same targets, and we've hit every one of those targets, right? Whether it was on an up, whether it was on a down, we've hit every single number, right? So for me, it gives me confidence, and I'm like, okay, if my chart, if I have already a line at the 78,411 to be precise, right? If you guys want to follow that stuff, then yeah, that's where my support is, and let's see what happens. If not, then yeah. Jaffa says never do lines, kids. Depends on what type of dry paddle lines we're doing, brother. Oh yeah, of course, never do lines, yeah. But it is what it is, end of the day. So yeah, let's see what happens, you know. But let's see. That's all I can say. If you have any other questions, guys, please do let me know. If not, then I'm not going to drag this any longer. Faisal, I hope it made sense. SM, I hope it made sense what I talked about. Bubble, I hope it makes sense, and all the other guys as well. I hope it made sense what I'm saying here. Yes, it's bleeding out. Yes, the market, we've lost the psychological market cap, right? But the technical market cap, we're still okay. We're still strong on that. So let's see what happens. SM says, are you more comfortable with the RSI now, as you were saying it was high last week? No, RSI has never been high. Our RSI has always been pointing down, and I've mentioned this on the video. I said the RSI is pointing down. However, the stochastic RSI was the one that's been showing us bullish signals, because stochastic RSI has gone below the level 40. So let me quickly just show you. Hold on, let me just quickly show you what I mean, guys. Right? Because it is quite important. You need to understand this, because there's a method in my madness. Right? Let me just flip this over. So this line here, this is what you're looking at, right? Blue line and red line. So you see how we've gone below this yellow line here. Okay, I'm going to use a freaking screwdriver to show you. So this 40 line here, this 40, we've gone below that on the stochastic RSI, and we've kind of bounced around this line. So you can see how it's level here, which is good. This is a reset. This is when we start the pumps. And you can see historically, whenever we've gone down, we do a pump. Down, we do a pump. And sometimes we can even pump all the way up to here. So this is what this indicator here is showing us, right? Now, this is the RSI line, which is the yellow line here. RSI is coming to the 40. So if RSI comes to the 40 or anything below 40, this blue zone here, this blue area here, this is our buy zone. So we're coming to that buy signal. Hence why I'm not buying here. I've got orders around here. Right now, we don't know what price is going to be, but I would love to buy around here, because that's the perfect place to buy. And also, just to understand, look, this is on a weekly. So I don't do anything on the thing. So this is on a weekly. So from here, we could pump now. Of course, this is indicating down. This tells us that, guys, and of course, this is giving us last week's data. So this really isn't relevant this week. So whatever happens this week is going to print that next week, right? So we're going to see that it could come down. Hence why I'm saying a week, 2 weeks from now, it might come down and actually come here, and that could give us the bounce that we're looking for. Now, of course, when we get the bounce, we have to then invalidate. I'll put a line here just to show you. There, put a line here. So we have to invalidate that 60 point, that line here at the 60. We have to invalidate that to be super bullish, and we could even get a rejection here. But again, this has nothing to do with price action. So this is more to do with sentiment. So that's what I'm seeing here. I hope that kind of makes sense, right? Of course, let me drop this down. Hold on. Yeah. Oh, I hate this when it does that. Sorry, lads. Right, recent. Kill that. Go back. Let's get that. Like Bubble says, making sense. Jaffa says, buy when there's blood in the street. Of course, that's exactly when you buy it. Right, let's go back to here because I want to show you this because my chart was messing around. Because I increased the size too much, I couldn't show you anything. So these are all the lines. Obviously, I mean, freaking hell, you can't even see it, right? I don't know if you can see it's blowing it up. But these are all my support and resistance numbers, right? Now, ignore this because mathematically 206 was a probability, but I'm not too concerned about that. So if you can see, this is what I'm looking at. This is how I look at certain things. And at 78, oh, what's going on? Why is it blowing up? Anyway, 78 is my next number. And you can see after that, we don't really have much. We go to 68, right? And then obviously in that zone, that's probably the strongest support zone that we have. And you can see why this is the strongest support zone. So I hope this kind of makes sense, because it is what it is. That's just my maths. That's just how I've done it. But I've always been transparent about it. And when it comes to the chart, you guys can vouch for this, right? How many years has it been? I haven't changed a single line, a single penny hasn't changed, a single number hasn't changed, and they have always been accurate to that point. So it is what it is. SM says need XRP and some alts to dip more for my buy orders to go through. Well, I think you know what, we will see a kind of like a reaction, right? There will be an effect, right, where if BTC settles down, right, either the like by now the alts will start bleeding out, and if the alts don't bleed out, then here could be an opportunity for the alts to take over and for us to have an actual altcoin season. So whatever we're seeing could start up an altcoin season, right? That could even happen. So far all the indicators are saying we've invalidated the altcoin season, but that could happen. Now the other thing that could happen, if BTC settles down, let's just say hypothetically from 78k to 86k, around that level, anywhere within that range, it settles down, right? So it doesn't do anything, settles down. Then it decides to do a pump, and the pump takes us towards the $109,000. Well, that actually, because it's a reset, that gives a massive momentum boost to the alts as well, because all of a sudden hype comes back in again and people will start pushing. Because remember, a lot of these things, like myself, I ignore the news and whatnot, right? So for me, I'm calm about it. I don't react. I've already set up everything. I don't need to overreact. But sometimes what happens, people on social media and other, influencers and whatnot, is they see something and they kind of exaggerate it. The title, the way they react, and it's like, fuck, for God's sake, stop it. Do you know what I mean? Stop it. You don't have to overreact. We don't need the act. Just be honest about it, right? Try and guide people in a calm manner, because that's how people are going to stay calm. If all you're trying to do is just sell, push, and this and that, get the views and whatnot, and hook people in and whatnot, you got a problem. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know, got a problem. So that's what it is, end of the day. So XRP looking good. I mean, I don't know what I said about XRP, but XRP is at $2.19 right now, which is actually below a support level. So it has fallen below, just like how BTC fell below 86. XRP is now also fallen below that. I think it was a $1.23 or $1.22, fallen below that. So now we might head towards the lower levels, but again, let's see what happens, because we do have, for XRP, we do have a support at the $1.98 level as well. So again, it is what it is. Jaffa says, have you ever been to Yaton? I don't know what Yaton is, bro, my brother. I have no idea what Yaton is. I have no idea. I'm a man with an electrical screwdriver, right? I use this to fit some fire alarms today. So earlier on, I was doing some fire alarms, some heat detectors, and some carbon monoxide detector, battery operated. I had to go and fit that, so did that. And then while I was doing that, got approached. Somebody wants to renovate an entire bathroom. So yeah, I said, yeah, come, let's go. So, it is what it is. So from a crypto analyst, I've become well, I don't know. I'm not a handyman, but yeah, I think I have gone into that. So if it pays, it pays. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm doing these days. I'm out there. I'm on a mission to make and collect and save as much money as possible because I'm going big. Next cycle, I'm going big. Big as in big. So, and big, what I mean, loads of different ways. It's not just crypto, but I'm going big because I've talked about it many times as well. In fact, I think it's a good opportunity to talk about it. So I did talk about like opening my kind of a hedge fund and whatnot and this and that. I'm having massive complications, believe me, and I've talked about it with a whole bunch of team and other people as well, even my associates who were like partners, everybody getting to coming together. And it's hard, man. It's hard. FCA is a freaking pain in the butt. So I've decided to kind of scrap it. I'm still doing it, but I'm not doing it the way I was going to do it. So I'm just going to continue with my private stuff that I do. I think that's the best way. And it has a better opportunity, better returns, and better gains for everybody else as well. And it's a lot more stable this way because everything else is just, it costs more than you're going to. It's like, hold on, what the hell is this? I mean, are we ever going to make any money? Like, never. You know what I mean? Unless we have some sort of a billionaire backing us up who's happy to wait for 10 years. It just doesn't make any sense the way they want it, the structure. So I don't know how these guys set up hedge funds and venture capital funds and whatnot. I'm sure they have a bank or something backing them up, but as an individual it's been really hard, and it's just really complicated. So I looked at it, I was like, you know what, no, I'd rather do like, just keep it private the way it is. And so far that's how we've been doing it. We've been piloting it and everything as well, and it's worked out well. So just continue with that. So like investors and whatnot, friends, family, whoever wants to invest into brick and mortar and everything. So yeah, we just go and buy properties, invest in that, flip them, do whatever. Just continue that way. It's just been so much more easier for us, So yeah, just thought I'd give you guys an update because I know some of you guys are going to turn around and say, what happened to that? Well, it's on hold because we've noticed that by the time I can launch it and go through all the BS that FCA does, it would take us 3, 4, 5 years at least. It's so bad the way they do it. It's going to take forever, and even to do it, we need to have a large sum just sitting aside. And right now, all the funds are being used, so we don't really have surplus fund just sitting around. I mean, who the fuck does that, right? Who wants fiat sitting in a bank? Come on, you've got to be mad. So it is what it is. So other than that, guys, if you have any other questions, do let me know. If not, I'm not going to make this any longer. I need to use the bathroom, so I'm going to go. If you let me, I will go. But yeah, other than that, I'm going to give you guys a second or so. So you let me know if you want a live stream. Sorry, if you want me to answer anything else. If not, then yeah, I'm going to love you and leave you, and just remind you, my name is Sham, this is your X-File, and the truth is always out there. The truth is what I've said, the numbers I've given, the previous numbers I've given, they're either here or they're on Discord, one or the other. They're both kind of interconnected. Sometimes I'll say things on Discord and then I'll say things here, and I know a lot of people, it doesn't make sense, but to make sense, you are welcome to join Discord. It's completely free. And like, share, and subscribe, and maybe turn on your notifications so when I do go live, we can go. And also, if you're watching this later, leave something in the comment, then I can react to that, or maybe some feedback or whatnot, or maybe you want me to talk about something. We can always do that as well. And as I said, I'm kind of right now doing a lot of well, DIY building stuff, whatever, handyman stuff, whatever in the corner. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm kind of doing little renovations here and there. If you guys want me to start documenting that and whatnot, I've thought about it. Maybe I should start documenting it. If I do, then make something out of it. Maybe start a new YouTube channel or whatever. Because you know what, guys, doing the same thing over and over again. And also, remember last year I lost my business. So after I lost my business, I kind of lost my way because I've had a lot of situation, a lot of things happen to me. So kind of lost my way, and my mind wasn't at place, right? So going back into building work and carpentry and whatnot, that's my favorite anyway. Going back into all of those and building stuff and renovate stuff and this and that keeps my mind off, and actually I enjoy it because I've got a lot of creative freedom. I can do whatever I want. So, you know, provided the customer's budget, obviously. You know, so but you know, it keeps me motivated and keeps me energized, and I do like it. Of course, when I mean energized, freaking painful in the beginning, but once you get over the pain, then yeah, you're on it. So other than that, guys, like, share, subscribe, and I want to catch you guys on another one very soon. Okay, I appreciate all of you guys coming here. Please do consider smashing the like, hitting the subscribe. So I'll see you on another one very soon. Adios, my amigos.